Hi, welcome back to the Distressed Princess. Here are the DIYs I'm working on today. If you watched the video where I went to the antique store, I was on the hunt for a suitcase. Well, I wasn't specifically hunting for a suitcase. I was just going for fun. But I ran across these suitcases that were very well priced. One was $8, one was $7.50. But I just wasn't sure if they were what I needed. I knew I wanted to repurpose some, but I just wasn't sure what kind. So then I got home and realized, yes, I needed to go back and get those. So I did. I went back and got this beige one and this red one and brought them home to begin work. And of course, Yachty had to get inside one of the suitcases and Piper had to get in the other one. And I really think they wanted to make these suitcases their beds. The first thing I needed to do was prepare the suitcases because I wanted to clean them inside and out. And all of the little detachable things that I could take out of this red one, I did. And along with those straps that were supposed to help hold the clothes down, I cut those out. I really liked this red suitcase because it had all of these really neat metal vintage pieces on it, and this was one that you needed to know the combination. And when I bought this, it had some tape stuck down in that little hole where the latch goes, and so I'm assuming that was so it wouldn't snap closed. And since no one would know the combination, it wouldn't be able to be opened again. So to remedy that problem, I took the tape out and I sealed up that little latch hole with hot glue. Then I made a concoction of hot water and fabric softener in my glass spray bottle, and I sprayed it down really good to try to eliminate any odors because it was kind of musty. And then I used some antibacterial multi-purpose spray, and I sprayed it on the inside and the outside and scrubbed the whole suitcase down. I did the same thing on the beige suitcase, and this lining of this suitcase was kind of like plastic. Like, do you remember when they had the baby diaper covers that were kind of plastic? It's kind of like that. That's giving away my age. But anyway, I used my bristle brush to scrub that plastic inside of the beige one. The fabric lining of the red suitcase was pretty stained up, so I decided I would paint it. And I'm going to use a technique that I was told about many, many years ago by a dear friend that said you could make fabric paint or even paint on carpet if you mixed some just cheap hair conditioner with your paint. And so I never did try it, but here's the day. I emptied the whole entire little craft bottle of Cameo Pink paint into this cup that is from the Dollar Tree. And now I'm going to add a good amount of hair conditioner, not quite 1-to-1 ratio. I wouldn't say that. It just I was just winging it, guys. Really, I didn't know how much was needed or any such clue how to go about doing this, but it worked. So that's why I'm showing you what my proportions were in that little cup. And then I mixed it all up really good. I would even recommend using a whisk if you have a whisk that you wouldn't mind to get paint on. I didn't have one that I wanted to get paint on, but make sure that that is mixed up very, very well. So here goes nothing. I started out with a foam paintbrush and I just started painting it right on in there, and I was liking how that was going, but then I decided I could get it even smoother. So I began using my water and fabric softener concoction to pre-wet the fabric, and I also changed to a chip brush that's from the Dollar Tree so that it would get better into the seams of that fabric. And then I just closed the lid so that that could dry and began working on my embellishments. Now this suitcase, I decided I wanted all of the metal pieces to be gold and some of those leathery red pieces. All the little metal pieces and attachments and baubles, I wanted them all to be gold. So I thought that the best way to do this would be to spray paint them first, and it was raining outside, so I had to do my spray painting indoors. I don't recommend, but that's how I had to do it this time. And yeah, it worked out pretty good. And this is how it looked once the gold was done, and I let that dry. I actually used my hair dryer, and this gold spray paint, which came from the Dollar General store, it's just the cheap stuff, it dried really, really quick, by the way. I used my cold setting on my hair dryer, and it was done in no time, and I was ready to begin painting this red white. I used my linen white Rust-Oleum chalk paint because it sticks to everything. And I started out using that same chip brush, well, same kind of chip brush from the Dollar Tree, but I was losing a lot of the hairs out of that brush into the paint, and so I later on switched to a better quality paintbrush like you would paint trim with. I tried using an artist style small paintbrush to get around the gold details, but I'm not gonna lie, people, it was really hard. You'd have to have a really steady hand. I also thought about taping off these gold pieces, but I didn't see how I would effectively be able to do that either and not get paint to go under the tape the way these hinges and things are. So I just did my very best to try to go around those gold pieces, but I'll let you in on a little secret. I had white paint all over that gold stuff. And I kind of found out that it's just as easy, just as quick to just let that white paint get on the gold, let it dry. It's chalk paint. And so after it's dry, it's so much easier just to wipe it off with a wet rag because that chalk paint will dissolve. And so, yeah. I did 2 coats of the white chalk paint, and then I wiped off all the gold pieces once that was dry, and this suitcase turned out good as gold. You can use this suitcase just to set out for decoration on top of a bench like I have, or I've even seen them made into side tables, like bedside tables. You can just stack it on top of a bedside table that's already existing, or you can attach legs. I decided on the second suitcase that I wasn't going to try to do the metal pieces in another color. I was going to paint the whole thing white because I had seen on Pinterest a few examples of some suitcases that I liked done, and I liked when the metal was painted white too, honestly. So I decided to do one of each, and then you all can decide which one you like better. I gave this suitcase 2 coats of the linen white chalk paint. Then I came up with a great idea. I remembered I had some of these picture frames from the Dollar Tree that have these file tag holders on them. And so I thought it might be cute to attach one of these to this second suitcase. And guess what? I'm going to spray paint it gold. Again, I used my hair dryer on the cold setting to speed dry that gold paint. And then I'm using the same little screws to screw them down into the suitcase. And I gotta tell you folks, I think I like this just as well, if not more, than all the trouble I had to go to paint the latches and everything on the last suitcase gold. As for the lining on the second suitcase, I liked the sage green color that it was, and I was able to get it cleaned up very well. So I'm going to leave that lining the same color and not cover it up, but I am going to repair or cover up some damaged parts. As you can see where the lid bends, the fabric or the plastic had torn. So I'm going to cover that up with some pretty ribbon that I have gotten from Michael's. The only other thing I would suggest is if you have some clear coat or polyurethane, I would seal them with something if you're going to use them as furniture. And here are both of the vintage suitcases, all repurposed and looking cute in my house. When I bought the materials to do this project, I also had purchased from Walmart this mirror gold duct tape that I thought I might use around the edges of this canvas like a frame. And I thought that that might go with the suitcases that I knew I was going to paint the handles and things gold. But by the time I got done with this project, I decided I wasn't going to add that gold to this canvas. I liked it just the way it was, but I want to go ahead and give you the idea in case you want to use it in your home. I really like this girly wall art, and it's giving my bedroom a nice little refresh. And here's a look back at those really cute suitcases. I think my actual plan is for them to live in my new refreshed bedroom too. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you would like to look at more DIY fun, then click the link right here that I've provided, and I'll see you next time. Bye.